What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Everton Extra. We are coming off a very, very happy weekend, in my opinion anyway. Felt like I was going to bed on a high on Sunday evening. Riyadh, how was that game, mate?
Heavy.
Heavy.
Do you know what,
There's
lad?
only one word for it. There's only one word for it. What? Do you know what? What a day! What a day out for the fans. What a day for the club. Showed real character. And I've got to be honest, I'm just absolutely buzzing at the moment. I feel really optimistic for the first time in a good couple of years. How are you feeling?
I'm happy, lad, but do you know what? I didn't even think we played well. I didn't think we played well at all, to be honest.
No.
But some will argue it's results. It's results, not performances, and then performances, not results. But it's not like this team can't perform, because it is, and it has. You don't get 5-6 wins in 8 off having bad performances. So it was just an hard-fought one, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and do you know what though, Riyadh? Sometimes they're the best ones, and do you know what? They're the real Everton wins. You know, like if you think back to what you associate with Everton, I know it hasn't been the last couple of years, but you know we're all proud as a fan base. We love our Everton. We love our hard-fought, gritty, hard-to-beat team. And you know, I agree with you. I don't think we played too well, but I completely agree with what you just said. You know, you can put 1-2 wins together and you can call it a fluke. But like you say, you don't win 5-6 games in 8-9 games and call that a fluke. We're building. And I really, it resonated with me what Dyche said, that it's a funny old game because we were arguably playing better the first 3-4 games of the season, but didn't get the results. And now we're getting results. But I would argue that is character building in the squad and confidence growing because, you know, like he said, if you're able to go and get a result and look after yourself on the days where you don't play perfectly, then that's massive. And I don't know if maybe I'm caught a little bit in the headlights of it all and caught up in the euphoria, but I really feel like we're building something positive at Everton now. I really do. I feel really optimistic. We've got a little cup run, cup game coming up. United having to come to Goodison after the international break. I don't think that's easy for them, and I think we could beat them. But we'll keep the attention on the game. I was just so happy with that game at Palace. I wasn't happy that we conceded the way we did, but penalty a little bit unfortunate. But I just thought it was, to keep coming back and getting a lead again. You know, sometimes that's hard when you're at their place. They've got a good crowd. They're loud. They get on you. And I have to say, what a team they've got. They don't half play some good football. And I think I was in the group that definitely didn't realise just how good they are as a team now, especially with that Eze being back. Like I say, just feeling really positive about it all.
Right, yeah, spot on, Matty. I'm good. We're going to move on. Some hot takes from the weekend and the season in general.
Okay.
The first one.
Interesting.
Everton are getting top 8 and winning the League Cup.
That sounds like something I'd say. That's something I'd say after a bevy and 1 win. So here's the thing: the League Cup, I'm well behind. I'll definitely get behind that, and I've said that since we beat Villa. I don't want to do the old, Everton fan, we're finally going to win something. I don't want to do it, but I feel like this year is as good a year as any to win it. The top 8, I would say I'm not sure about it. But you know what, Riyadh? We're actually closer to a European spot than we are the relegation zone.
So is it stupid to ask, would you rather top 8 or a League Cup?
Oh, it's got to be the cup, hasn't it? We haven't won a trophy in 30 years, mate. I think if you'd have said top 6 or top 4, it'd be a little bit harder. But even then, I think I'd still go the League Cup because if you win the League Cup, you're in the Conference League anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, right. So do you think it's realistic?
Realistic? No. Possible?
Optimistic?
Absolutely yes. Realistic? Probably not. Possible? Absolutely yes. Yes. But you know what? Part of me wants to go, fuck it, yeah, it's realistic. We're going to win everything. We're going to win the treble. So, you know, yeah, I think it's, look, definitely possible. Definitely possible. Realistic, that's another question. But yeah, it's possible 100%. Yeah.
We've got another one, which is a bit of a stupid one because everyone knows this is correct. And you've said it before, but Branthwaite is better than Virgil van Dijk. Not much more needs to be said because he is.
It's not even a debate. It's not even a debate. To be honest with you, Riyadh, I've actually heard that Van Dijk goes to bed with a Branthwaite poster on his wall.
I heard that too. Yeah,
I've heard that like he's a little bit of an inspiration for him.
Yeah.
But look, if we're being truthful, you know, let's just keep it real now. Let's not talk shit. I don't think Van Dijk could really even lace Branthwaite's boots. So yeah, we'll move on. It's easy. It's done.
Yeah. Jordan Pickford can't save a penalty.
Well, that's just not true, is it? Because he's been the reason. He's been the reason England got so far in both the World Cup and the Euros. I think he saved 3 penalties in one shootout to take us through, and he saved a couple for Everton as well. Listen, a goalkeeper, when it comes to a penalty, if it's not his fault in conceding the penalty, I think it's a really difficult situation because, you know, if you save it, you're the hero, aren't you? If you save it, but if you don't, you know, they're hard to save. I think sometimes Pickford gets caught up in the tactics too much. I'll say that. I think sometimes he likes to bounce about too much and talk shit. Just get in the goal and concentrate on it. You know, I know he's got a little water bottle, but it doesn't seem to do that much good. But in the past, it's worked as well. So I think that's a hot take. I think it's unfair. Pickford saved plenty of penalties in the future, and he's saved plenty of penalties in the past. So yeah, hot take.
We are not going to cruise to safety. Injuries will come. Luton are getting better, and Burnley will click eventually. It'll be closer than people think.
Well, it's nice to have some positivity.
It is, yeah.
But I can't say I'm surprised by our fan base, to be honest with you. No, I think that's a hot take. I think there's evidence all over the show. You know, I've seen 3 pundits in the last week, one of which being Jamie Carragher, who we all know loves to shit all over us. Jamie Carragher saying Everton will be more than safe. They'll be absolutely fine. I think we will as well. Because, and I'll tell you why, Riyadh, most teams in our position start off strong after a bad year because they've got to get better and they've got to show the fans, and then they dip off. We've been the opposite. We've started strong, we've remained strong, and now we're going from strength to strength. And never mind injuries, we're still waiting on people coming back. So yeah. I think that's a stupid thing to say, but I'm not surprised because the Everton fan base is bipolar as anything. So
us included.
Yeah.
Well, you said this before. We played better this season and lost. Very true. First 3 home games, we played relatively well, better than the Palace game, and we lost.
Sorry to interrupt you, but one thing I would say, Riyadh, which I think everyone seems to be forgetting, it depends how you base playing better, right? Because really, it could be argued that we actually weren't playing as well because we couldn't put the ball in the goal. So now we're taking those chances, and you know we had a load of talk about all this high XG and we're XG 4 goals a game, but we weren't putting the ball in the goal. So arguably we weren't playing as well, and now we're playing much better because we're starting to put the ball in the onion bag. You know, so
yeah, that's it. That's all you need to do, lad.
Absolutely.
If Calvert-Lewin didn't play, we would have lost.
I tell you what, I have to say, I'm loving these. We should definitely do this every week. I'm loving them. If Calvert-Lewin hadn't played, we'd have lost against Palace.
Yeah.
I didn't think Calvert-Lewin had a particularly great game. I didn't really see much of him, to be honest. I don't think Calvert-Lewin was the deciding catalyst on us winning. I know he causes problems, but I personally don't think he had a great game.
The counter acting whatever tweet is DCL looked very isolated for most of the game after the first goal, which is true. But someone else also said that we're not getting crosses into him.
Yeah,
we need wingers to get crosses into him. Which, to be fair, Calvert-Lewin a few years ago would not take on defenders and run from the halfway line with the ball and run at defence. but he is now. He's a changed player because
Yeah,
he's
a more complete centre forward.
Because I think that just comes with age and maturing and developing
Yeah.
anyway. But
Yeah,
under Ancelotti, it was more to just get the ball in, one touch, finish.
Yeah.
But I didn't see much of either of that side against Palace. But
no. Do you know what? Do you know what you saw against Palace, Riyad? Right? You saw very little attacking tactics. Now, what I mean by that is, I don't mean we weren't set up well. What I mean is, you're right. It wasn't like we were playing the game, getting crosses into the box, but we also weren't getting Calvert-Lewin on the ball in the middle of the pitch. What you saw at the weekend was Everton just doing whatever it took to win, whatever that tactic was at that time. And that's why you've seen Mykolenko and Idrissa Gueye popping up with goals, because we just did what it took to win at the time. I don't think we had a particular attacking tactic, and it could be said really that for 50, 60 minutes of the game, a large part of it was soaking up pressure because Palace came at us. So I don't think we really saw an attacking tactical game from Everton. I think you saw the team doing whatever they had to do to get the win all over the pitch.
Yeah, spot on. Matty, have you got an unpopular opinion?
I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion. Might not be agreed with by everyone. But yeah, I have. Vitaly Mykolenko is the best defensive left fullback in the league. Yeah, and
I weren't expecting that.
Yeah, well, I think he gets a lot of hate, Mykolenko, right? Because he's had a bad year with Everton, but since the start of the season, I actually think he's been one of our best players, and defensively, he's been absolutely unbelievable.
In form, right now, maybe. And Mykolenko had a lot of hate for his attacking ability as well, because they weren't great. But he's got 2 and 2.
And I don't think he is, by the way. I don't think he is. He's just had a couple of goals in a couple of games, so he's high on confidence. That's all. But
yeah,
I think he's become a lot more composed. You see the way he's linking up with the left winger and Onana in the little triangles. I think he's growing. I'm not going to say he's going to be the best fullback ever, but, you know, and again, we spoke about this last week, Riyad. Everton notoriously have high standards for fullbacks because for the past 40 years, we've always had some of the best. We've always had some of the best, dating right back to the 80s. But then obviously most recently we've had who in my opinion was top 3 fullbacks in Europe for probably 10, 12 years in Leighton Baines, and the best Premier League left back for a long time after Ashley Cole retired. And even Jordan Summer Cole's seasons, I think Baines was better in some aspects. But in terms of another unpopular opinion, yeah, I have got one. And I think this is one that the real fans will agree with, and the ones who are too caught on the highs will probably call us dickheads for. But my unpopular opinion is, at the moment, the players have been carrying Dice through the last 6 or 7 games. What I mean by that is, Dice's inability to have a plan B or make substitutions early enough to change a game is really hindering Everton at the moment. I think we could have beat Brighton. I really think we could have beat Brighton, but for some reason, four of our attacking players were blowing out of their arse from 60 minutes, and no changes were made until near the end of the game. Calvert-Lewin was blowing out of his arse by 65 minutes, needed to come off, wasn't changed. For some reason, Dice has got a little bit of naivety. I also understand that when you've got a strong team out there, it's hard to change it. But as a Premier League manager, you've got to know when to make subs. And I think the confidence of the players has carried Dice through a couple of these games, and he needs to learn, and he needs to learn fast that we need substitutions more often.
Yeah, spot on. Matty, thank you very much, as always.
No problem at all.
Probably be back during the international break, if not.
Absolutely.
Man United game. Thank you very much.
Up the toffees. Cheers, Riyad. Thanks very much.
See you later.